Amundsen and Scott's expedition to the South Pole in Antarctica during the early half of the 20th century was a historic conquest, making them some of the first people to get there. Now, more than 100 years later, a race is still on to get to the South Pole, but this time on the moon. Robotic spacecraft have long confirmed the presence of frozen water deposits in the South Pole of the moon, which, if one thinks about it, is kind of like Antarctica. One of these pioneering spacecraft was India's Chandrayaan 1, and this was designed by the Indian Space Research Organization, or ISRO. And they have since then announced a couple of follow-up missions, Chandrayaan 2 and Chandrayaan 3, both of which are focused on the lunar South Pole. Picture this. It is the night of 14th July 2019. The entire world was holding its breath as Federer battled it out with Novak Djokovic in the final of the Wimbledon. And nearby, in the Lord's Cricket Stadium in London, England and New Zealand were fighting hard to win their first World Cup. It was a clear night in the south of the Indian state of Andhra Pradesh, and specifically over a small island fondly known as Shar. The moon was high in the sky, passing behind some scattered clouds. A rocket sat awake on the pad, the GSLV Mark III, and on it was the Chandrayaan 2 mission, ready to roar into the moonlit sky, heading towards the moon. I was there in the audience at the launch view complex, and the atmosphere was just beyond amazing. Alas, it never launched that day because of a helium leak, but it launched a week later. As it is well known by now, the orbiter entered into the orbit of the moon, but the lander Vikram and the rover Pragyan never made it to the surface intact. It was a sad day. But be sad no more. ISRO is bouncing back better than ever this year. It's going to be amazing. With Chandrayaan 3 on the launch roster, expectations are surely high, but when the going gets tough, ISRO delivers, and it delivers very well. This time, the primary objective of the mission is to land on the moon and deploy the rover. This lander-rover duo will also carry a host of scientific experiments, and it will stamp India's mark in the rapidly growing field of lunar science. Meanwhile, don't forget about the propulsion module of Chandrayaan 3. This also carries an instrument, but it is not looking at the moon. Now, you might think we are going to the moon. Why are we not looking at the moon? It's because it is looking at exoplanets. It's looking at the reflected light from the planets from their host star, and it will search for exoplanets that way. I'm very excited to see ISRO attempting the landing again along with the rover near the south pole of the moon, and I'm sure this excitement will prevail in the country and the world as we get closer and closer to the launch date. The conquest of the lunar South Pole is on, and ISRO is not at the cutting edge of this progress, it is the cutting edge. For now, all we can do is remember the humble start of ISRO and wonder. From bullock carts to the moon, Mars, and out beyond, in the big blue yonder, India is getting there. Jai Hind.